Hi, I'm Anna.
I'm Ben.
We're AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
They're watching Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Season 1, Episode 17. Last episode was devastating. We are shown a new side of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood 2 episodes ago, only to be returned to the grief that was last episode.
Yeah.
And learning Hughes' death and watching it play out in the most unpredictable, uncomfortable way possible up until, yeah.
With things coming to an end, you know, naturally life ends. We have Hughes' death, but there are also beginnings, romantic beginnings, that I'm really excited to hopefully go right back into next.
Why would you be excited for it? It's devastating.
Romance.
It was the one good thing that we had since moving to Central, and now Solaris, right? Fucking Christ. That slow pan of Ed now walking past the place that Hughes died. Last episode is tortuous and amazing.
And now I get romance.
You ready?
Yeah.
Sweet. Fucking Ross is being wrongfully accused.
I don't want... Okay, let's not go back to that part. Like, I don't want to see that. I find it so upsetting and makes my tummy hurt. Nope. Nope. This is not the content I'm looking for. No way! We talked and it matches her, like, gun? Okay, well, all they have is the caliber gun thing? No.
Wow. We are smarter than we assumed. This is not looking good, Anna. What the fuck? Wow.
As you showed the flag that you are kind of a dog for, if you will.
Cold flame. Someone was inside of me.
Right. And I'm thinking to what Al said about not wanting his body back if people are gonna die. Where do they go from here? How close they could be to death. But
Yes. Oh no.
And we can't bring him in as... Is maybe the bullet, like... He's gonna recognize her.
Can we trust a testimony? This isn't gonna sit well.
Found to be the culprit. Okay. Give me more evidence. Come on.
We're ignoring testimonies of those close to us, right?
Mm-hmm. Who is it? Who's the intruder? Cold Flame was the title? No. Bury the Chopper? We're using him to get her out? Like what? He's so fearless.
What is this team up?
Get her out! Get my girl out of jail! Come on! Break her out.
Is the bullet still in
Look
there?
at the two.
There's 2 shots. 2 shots were fired. Let's go.
Yep.
Alright, Ross.
Yes! Where are his commands coming from?
That's an understatement. Oh,
I was
seeing
wondering
Roy.
when he was gonna enter with the title having flame in it. What is he gonna do?
Holy shit.
Everyone's here.
Oh no.
But is he gonna pretend to kill her? If he pretends that he killed her, it was one of his underlings that sent Barry the Chopper. Come on.
It has to be. Because you're right, it's underlings, right? It has to be part of the plan. She's in the chest to the left.
And we know how close he was with Hughes, you know? Like, he would care... Oh. The cold flame.
説明を求めるな。ただ従え。それが軍というものだ。
Reinforcing, like, don't look into this any further.
マスタング大佐、どういうことか説明してくれ。抵抗すれば射殺してよしとの通達が出ていた。抵抗されたから殺したまでだ。准将は君の親友だったそうだな。ああ。
He would be the one that would want to get revenge for Hughes. Mm-hmm.
ロス少尉を脱獄させたのはなぜ？なぜ？ああやって自分の手で焼き殺すためさ。
I mean, it's...
What a good cover.
ヒューズ准将の死を伝えなかったのは本当にすまなかった。俺のせいで。
He also probably feels responsible for Ross's death. The bullet was at the 5th laboratory, protecting him.
なんせ損傷がひどくてな。かろうじて残された歯の治療痕からマリア・ロスと断定した。こんなべっぴんさんを炭にしちまいやがって。よほど恨みがあるんだろうな、マスタングさんよ。敵討ちができて満足かい。小娘相手にここまでやるた。ヘドが出るね。大佐は我が輩と部下が飛んだことを殺人を犯した。彼女は正直者で思いやりのある。疲れが溜まっているようだな、少佐。休暇を取るといい。あそこはいいぞ。都会の喧騒もないし。
というわけで、マスタング君は見事親友の方さ。
It's a great headline.
めでたしめでたし。爪が甘いんじゃない？ってもらうための作戦だったんでしょ。犬が餌を食べちゃったってのもオツでさ。反感買ってるみたいだぜ。部下にも愛想つかされるんじゃない？
何かね。
休暇願いです。
Oh.
いけませんか？
許可する。
ありがとうございます。
Why does it have to be Ryza? You know?
That's his most trusted
I know.
person. There has to be a reason. Are we going to visit Barry?
バレたら大佐になんて言われるか。凶悪な犯人に捕まってるかわいそうな軍人さんなんだからいいんだよ。
You're held captive by me.
よ、さっきから何やってんだ。だよ。のろし？大体見ず知らずの人間を連れてくるなんて何考えてんだ。探しましたぞ。おお、早かったな。また吹いてぞ。やあ、エリザベス、元気かい？
いつもお電話ありがとう。
だって君のところに電話をかけられる。どうよ、ととたんこれだ。本当にあの人は大盛りだったんだな。私もこっちに来てから休みなしだったからね。そろそろ休暇を取ろうと思ってる。最近釣りにハマっててね。一緒にどうだ
？Feels like all of these like pieces are moving around right now and I don't really know. Parts are moving. What the fuck?
Interesting. Like, without Winry even being there?
We are that. That's our reaction. Which him? Him? I sure hope so.
Yeah.
We're starting the offensive?
Mustang. I hate ending an episode down here.
あら、生きてたのね。炎の大佐とつながりが。さあね。どこに逃げたの？いや、逃げ足は早いわ。要するにわかんないんでしょ？無能ね。人手が足りないんだよ。人手？人手はこれで十分よ。バリーザチョッパー。
What?
What?
Okay, that was Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood Season 1, Episode 17. You wrote down a lot. Look at you.
There's a 17 in the corner,
Yep.
and nothing was written down.
So much happened. Okay. All right. Ross isn't dead. Like
No,
it's
totally
like
not.
in our face. We know fake. Yes. It's still like hurt because of how good of a play it was by Roy. Like in the situation that Roy is crafting, it could be seen as so believable. Like, he's the one who killed Hughes, you know? And take it a step further. Oh, really? Did you use this, like, to, you know, make a situation where you were the one who could actually do the killing?
Which is so, like, also perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so I find this really fascinating that we've gotten this character, but definitely not as much as some other characters in terms of feeling like we could truly understand them. I feel like what leads us to believe we could understand Roy is I would take the funeral scene, for example, as a scene that makes me feel like I can understand him. I can take how he talks to Ryza about Ed and Al in terms of his views of them seeing hell, but then also wanting to keep Hugh's death from them because he doesn't want them to blame themselves. And I feel like through scenes like that, we can actually get a really good glimpse into the heart of Roy. And we have to think back to like why him and Hughes didn't like Bradley or looked to their superiors negatively, why Roy would want to come to Central and kind of take over and become king himself someday. And I take all of that, and that is what informed me being like, there's no way that he killed Ross actually. But what I find most interesting is sometimes you can't have everything go right with a plan or everything go to how you might want it to go. Obviously, Roy is going to have to take, or at least initially had to take, a lot of the backlash emotionally from people who are his allies to not being a part of this plan with him. I would say towards the end of the episode, it seems like Armstrong is maybe somewhat privy to it and or just trusts him.
There's so much underlying trust that you need to have with no validation of like of why that trust should be there in immediacy. Like, it's so well played and it's so well paced throughout the episode and throughout the past two even. Like, the last two episodes feel so perfectly tied together in like the situation that they're weaving to really get us in the atmosphere of like what the fuck's about to happen.
And why I'm saying like not everything can go exactly maybe how Roy would want it to go initially to the plan of like breaking Ross out. Like obviously what we got with Hughes's death reveal to Ed and Al was the idea that he didn't want to reveal that to them and why. But then here it's kind of like, well, it's not like he expected Ed and Al to be in the alley when he was gonna kill Ross there. So, but he had to keep up the act because people were gonna come and be like, is this really what happened? And he needs all the witnesses to corroborate that that is what he did. And they can't know the truth.
At what point do you think Roy was in the alley? Like, we have Barry the Chopper being, like, giving direction, right? Like, when the order was sent out to, like, okay, you know, if you see her and she tries to escape, you can shoot her. Is Roy already, like, ready? You know, like, so that he can ensure that he's the first one to see her to actually ensure her safety by faking the death.
I think that he would already be out there because I think especially because it might be too hard for them to tell, you know, if they get into the nitty gritty of it, like, oh, well, we sent out that order at 4:02 and she obviously died 30 minutes before that. Like, they're not going to get into like that
I
territory?
disagree. I see. That's
You
why I
think
bring
they
up the
would?
question.
Oh, okay.
Because it ends up being much more complex than I would have assumed they could. It was going to be. It's so well written that I'm almost like, part of me believes that, like, the phone call after the fact, Roy is hitting every detail that needs to be hit. Like, I could see a situation that Roy would make sure he doesn't leave until that order is given, so that he has an alibi until then, so that they don't assume that this was premeditated by Roy. But if it was like an immediate type thing where they could use the guise of, oh, you wanted to be the one to kill.
But it's okay
Yeah.
that he doesn't have okay.
I don't know, though. It's just so...
It's like he's safe on both fronts. He's safe on the front, oh, I just happened to hear the order and I happened to be here. And safe on I helped the breakout so I could kill her myself.
Which is...
That's so awesome to have two narratives that you're putting forward that people could believe so you can hide the true thing.
It's such a good way to write a great, intelligent character, but also a way that makes me be like, well, fuck. Like, Roy comes out on top as long as he knows every piece on the board. The fact that we have so much unknown within, like, envy and, like lust, like, that's the really unfair...
They're honing in on him specifically to bring the downfall. Like, they're looking for evidence.
All right. Bury the chopper. What the fuck is going on? So, I am assuming that we have taken the body of Bury the Chopper, separated its soul to the Bury the Chopper that we all know and love, and within the physical body is either no soul, which makes no sense to me, or a soul has been put into the body of Bury the Chopper's human form.
Okay, so this is a really great question here because I think I was torn on the line in terms of what they meant by it. I didn't know if the line meant, like, you're on, like, this is Bury that we're calling this creature Bury the Chopper, or you're on Bury the Chopper, this is your rival. This is who I'm sending in to fight you.
I am giving human form.
Well,
okay, here's why I think so. My pleasure and life improving from seeing Bury the Chopper in the series again was enough. I was happy, I was fine, there didn't need to be anything deeper behind it. I don't think that's true anymore. Ooh. I think that with his prior conversation with Al and how important that was to his reintroduction for the story, I think it has a purpose. I think it's like much more significant than just, ooh, look, it buried the chopper. I think this is going to like really hone in on the idea of soul. I think that because this is the original body of Bury the Chopper, he will be able to find the original like soul of Bury the Chopper, so that they're using him to track down and find the sketch that NV just showed of actual Bury the Chopper.
On an emotional level, why you would do something like that is that this episode, the main question that's posed by our main characters is, what are we going to do now? Because we feel divided, we feel conflicted, it's dangerous, people are now dying for this journey of getting our bodies back, and to be confronted by what was Al's first instance, that was like Al's first...
All of your memories could be manufactured. Like, you don't know that you even had a physical body in the first place.
But so then here, Bury the Chopper's physical... Okay, like
and
that
to see Bury the Chopper, like, reacting and interacting with his actual physical body would be something that is so, like... Why would you reintroduce Bury the Chopper like you did if you didn't want to do that?
It's like you initially introduced him to fuck with Al, and then this introduces another thing to fuck with Al, because Al's physical body does not actually exist in this world and in this plane, because it was literally taken as parts for the creation of what we were hoping was going to be our mom.
Mm-hmm. It's not, there's no way, like, okay, there definitely is a way, but, like, in my mind, it's, like, it's just so perfect. Why would you not use it if you went out of your way to show me him in that room in the first place? Like, I don't know.
So what do we have in this room? It's like, when we first got this room that, you know, Lust and Envy were hanging out in with all these cages, I was thinking, oh, are these a bunch of chimeras? Because we get the idea that like the government military definitely was creating chimeras, and with the Greed's introduction and all the chimeras that were with him. And is this like more of those? But now with this idea, like, is this the like soulless bodies of the people that we did experiments on in the 5th laboratory?
Yeah. Or I don't think by the nature of a soul there could be a body without a soul in it. Like, I think that...
But if you could move a soul into an object like armor, couldn't you, like... If everything's ingredients and you can take away a finger, or you could take away a hand, could you not also take away one element of a body? If it's all like a bunch of parts that you then build together to create something?
I think you could, but to have that one thing be a soul and have nothing replace it, it's in my mind
Are they
either
replacing it with animal souls? Maybe.
I think that's a good guess. I think because it would be easier to do, and by the look of expression and lack thereof, that's believable. It's either that or what you said, and there's more of like dividing within souls. Like, okay, 90% of Barry the Chopper is within that suit, but 10% is left, you know?
Yeah, because, like, really, how do you extract a soul, and is it always perfect? I mean, that would just open up another can of worms to understand, like, is Al's soul completely intact?
Yeah.
That would be a dangerous can of worms to open if that was true.
I brought it up in the intro. What do you think about... See, okay, what's the definition that we got for homunculus? Like... in terms of them with chimeras. I want to go back. It's in episode 13, 12, 16 in. Yeah, an artificially created person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is like a different breed. It's so difficult because, like, you have what is Barry the Chopper now, which is resembling that of Al, the body of what we assume Barry the Chopper to be. So, of course, it wouldn't be a homunculus, but it would, like... the idea of a homunculus being able to exist or created, like, I have so many different, like, equations in my head going on of, like, how much you'd need to be able to create something like that versus one of the ingredients potentially being a soulless husk. Or if you remove a soul from a person and replace that soul with a soul of an animal or another person, does that not give you as much as giving the entire body and soul? You know what I mean?
We're getting a lot of different examples of kind of how to do something all sick in actuality, but slightly different, from homunculus to mixing a dog and his little girl owner, and it can kind of talk, and it's probably majority the little girl's soul at that point, maybe, conversation point. And yeah, so the armors, we have the homunculi, we're getting whatever we're getting at the end of this episode. We have chimeras.
I hope that the bullet is still within Barry the Chopper. That would be great. They could do the whole forensic thing. I can't believe they brought it up, the 45.
We literally talked, last episode, I was like, that's my saving grace.
Yeah.
Is that you can't replicate the bullet and the gun that was used.
And at the moment, all it is the same caliber, right?
Yeah,
they haven't
they didn't
gone
have
the next
any
step.
evidence.
Yeah.
Which
but
everyone else knew. They were like, they're not even getting testimony from anyone. And it's like, yeah, I get it. You can't trust the parents that she was here all day. But what about, like, 5 or 6 other military officers? I know, like, cool, they might have been like, Armstrong was in charge of her and this was her partner is Broche, like, and then Ed and Al are kids, so maybe you could come up with reasons why you didn't want to trust the testimony of all of them. But that's a lot of people in military positions to be, like, lying for someone.
I mean, look at who's behind everything, right?
Yeah.
And
he was getting orders, from someone on the phone. I wonder who. Probably Bradley.
Who?
The guy that was in charge of Ross's situation.
It didn't come across like he was being given orders, more that he was alerted to the escape of Ross. That was my first interpretation of it, but it could be either way.
Well, I feel like he's definitely getting orders to
for
like
sure.
cover to not get testimony from
Yeah,
people
yeah.
and to cover this up as quickly as possible.
One of the things that I loved this episode that I wanted to make sure I touched on because it was important to me at first, but then everything just kept going. I loved the conversation with Winry in the beginning of the episode. Ed asked her for advice, and it was like, that's fucking weird. That's never happened. And then Winry says something along the lines of like, you guys could end up dead. That could be you, like mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really strong for me in this episode.
I feel like you can only have a Winry that's willing to state her most kind of selfish thoughts there with the breakdown and closeness emotionally that they've gotten to, the vulnerability that they've gotten to through Hughes's death. I mean, they let Winry stay when they talk to Hughes's wife, you know, and explain the situation. Like, we view ourselves to blame for your husband's death. Winry is now completely in the loop to the dangers that they're in with this journey of getting their bodies back. And if we think about Winry was there from like the beginning of trying to rescue and save them after what they have done, and has lived with them as family and friend for all of this time. But this seems like one of the first times that she was able to like comfortably state her most kind of selfish feelings here, and it be reciprocated in a way that it's not like, oh, you're guilting me about this thing, but more like, we all feel the same and we're all conflicted right now. Thank you for being honest with me kind of energy. And as Al, his response was, you're being so nice right now,
Yeah.
Winry. And she was like, what do you mean? I'm always
nice. They're giving me more scratches. Ling Yao was rescued from jail and is reunited.
Okay, yeah, why
Blind Bang.
did we chose to rescue him? Because he's from the
Yeah.
East. That, I feel like
It's gonna
that
be
is
so
of importance.
fascinating.
That is of importance, because that means, like, I was wondering how much in the plan Barry the Chopper was. Like, Barry, did he know that Roy was going to be in the alley and the explosion and the fire and what they were going to do?
Well, we got the line that was like, you just broke out of here, like, to Barry. Like, he did this, like, he just did this on his own volition, like, quote unquote, but like, yeah.
And so it's like, but is there more to the plan that he's privy to, and that's why, oh, you're from the East, that could be helpful to us?
I don't know. I
Why
trust
else
Barry
would
the
you-
Chopper wholeheartedly, though.
What's Ryza gonna be up to? Like, obviously, the leave that everyone's going on right now, all of the moving parts. Like,
Mhm.
Ryza's such a better actor than Roy. Like, Roy was like, I'm gonna talk to this girl on the phone and irritate everyone in this room. And Ryza was just like, cold. I'm
I
going
love
on
Ryza.
leave.
I love Armstrong. He's a great episode. Like, and he's a great episode. He's a great character. And trying to, like, encompass the frustrations and different things emotionally that you must be going through, especially with like the accusation and persecution of Ross, but then knowing what might be true and what is true and what you hope is true, losing Hughes, like all of his,
And knowing you can't fully communicate with
Yeah.
everyone, because like, especially if you think about the place that Armstrong's in, which we've been seeing him in this allyship with Roy, and then in this episode it takes kind of the darker turn of like, does he really know what Roy's thinking and doing? But then toward the end of the episode it's like, well, it feels like no matter what, Armstrong's still on Roy's side. But it's like, he's in the place where Bradley specifically was like, don't tell anyone. And he had to kind of cryptically talk to Roy the last time they ever really shared information. And so everyone's in a very dangerous place right now, but it seems like something giant is about to happen, which I'm like, it's episode 17. There's probably is
I
this
have
like
no
a
idea.
normal amount of episodes in a season in terms of like 23 to 25? Like, are we ramping up to whatever is some inevitable giant
well,
fight
in
of a bunch
every
of different
conversation
people?
I've ever heard about Fullmetal Alchemist, it's like up there within like OG amazing series like Naruto, Dragon Ball, and within those series you don't operate by the seasonal 25 episodes, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't imagine this to abide by that. Therefore, I have no fucking clue.
You know what's pretty cool in terms of like strength, when you bring up like those other shows that have like fighting and really strong people, I feel like Roy is this like, he's just up on this pedestal as like, I view as incredibly strong, but we have yet to ever really see him in like really like not raining, you know, real action, real fight. But I still view him as like peak.
I just feel like it's so like tightly and well written, like in comparison. Like I don't know. I love it. I can't get the feeling and desire out of my brain of like seeing, like, we know Al's here, seeing him and Barry the Chopper like meet up again through fighting and like
Spider-Man
having
meme.
a common enemy, like getting to understand each other. Barry the Chopper seeing his own body, having to deal with that emotionally, and then maybe potentially like holding his own body off while Al and others escape, and he gets to tell Al, like, reassure him, no, I know you had a body, go get yours back, this was mine, and I'm gonna hold it off for you. Like, that's how it plays out in my head, and it would be beautiful. I would weep.
Well, I hope that we can get to a place where we have beautiful tears of joy and bittersweet just running down our
Me too.
cheeks.
All right, that's all I have. You. Thank
Oh,
you
I
guys
didn't
so
give me
much.
romance.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want the romance. It was going to be fake. Fake romance is not good romance.
It's like reality TV romance. It's still entertaining.
I don't know. I
Okay,
just
I'm
feel
sorry.
bad. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe. We hope to see you next time.